and welcome to my first review for WWE Monday Night Raw from September the 30th, 2019. So I have a bunch of notes I wrote down, and on this episode of Monday Night Raw, it was the premiere show, I said, cool stage for Raw. I thought it was pretty cool. And cool song to the start of Raw, sounds like Skillet, which I now learned I'm right. Rey Mysterio comes out, and he's going to talk about his Universal Championship match with Seth Rollins. But out of nowhere, Brock Lesnar comes out, and he pretty much attacks Rey Mysterio before he can even say anything. Gives him the F5, the suplex, all that stuff, and then pulls his son Dominic, who's at ringside, from the audience over the barricade, and then picks him up, slams him back first into the steel ring post, puts him in the ring, and then he starts dumping him with suplexes. Rey Mysterio gets another F5, Dominic gets another suplex, Rey Mysterio gets a suplex, and then he gets the F5 for the third time, and Brock Lesnar basically looks around disgruntled, and he's kind of like, why did I do this? And then he pretty much leaves, and that's how the show started. And I'm thinking to myself, this is a really, really good way to start Monday Night Raw, as real as the storyline as this is, and developed. Wow, my mindset, I'm like, wow. So, I like the new commentary team of Vic Joseph, Dino, and The King. I think they're going to do very well. I like Vic Joseph a lot more than Michael Cole. I never really liked Michael Cole. I think he's going over to SmackDown on Friday. That's what I hear. So, we'll see if I'm right. And the opening match was kind of a bore fest between Sasha Banks and Alexa Bliss. Match lasted about 4 minutes. I said piss poor ending. That's what I wrote down. And Sasha Banks gets the win with cheating, grabbing Alexa Bliss's tights. So I'll turn it over again. Becky Lynch comes out and attacks Sasha Banks after the match, and Sasha runs like a coward that she is into the crowd. I've always kind of known Sasha Banks was a coward. Then they say they'll let us know if anything happens between the Rey Mysterio vs. Seth Rollins match, if it's happening or not. At this point, they don't know. A Firefly Funhouse graphic appears, which I'm very intrigued by. And then the second match is for the Raw Tag Team titles. I noticed there's 3 title matches, I believe, on this card tonight. And I counted 7 matches. But anyways, the second match is for the Tag Team titles. Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler defend against, this is kind of stupid, Otis Dozovich and Tucker Knight of Heavy Machinery. I didn't like the booking of the match. Didn't make sense. But then they would go on to say, well, the Revival was a Raw team and now they're the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. And I'm thinking, okay, I understand why you did what you did, but it didn't make sense. It seemed like it got thrown together. Maybe Vince was doing that backstage. And Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler will pick up the win. I wrote down good match. I don't think I have the title of the match written down, but I wrote down good match. It was a good match. I just didn't like the booking of it. Then we have a graphic of The Rock saying that he's going to be on SmackDown, pretty much. So I'm pumped for that. I'm hoping he comes back to be a wrestler, but I think he's just coming on to endorse SmackDown being on Fox Friday. I don't think anything more than that will happen. I think he'll give someone a rock bottom. We'll see what happens. Seth Rollins is disgusted in what happened, but he promises to defend the Universal title no matter what happens. And he says when Rey gets healthier, he will defend the title against him. Then we have Miz TV with Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair, which I was thinking, why are they doing this other than to get ratings for the season premiere of Raw? And I'm kind of like, okay, whatever, let's just get this over with. And then it turns out that they're going to have Team Hogan versus Team Flair at the Crown Jewel event on Halloween. And then they've picked up captains. I believe Ric Flair picked Randy Orton, and I believe Hogan picked Seth Rollins. And then I think Baron Corbin might be on Flair's team as well. Excuse me, King Corbin, but I'm not going to call him that because the King of the Ring tournament is a sham. We kind of get them bickering back and forth, and basically it's like, okay, I just want this to end, and it ends. So, cool, I guess, that they're having a 10-man tag on Halloween for the Crown Jewel event. I thought it was going to end up being a tag match. I wrote down Baron Corbin comes out, now Rusev is out, and then they just clear the ring, which is kind of stupid, but then again it makes sense later on in the show why they did what they did. But at the time I was thinking they're going to make it into a tag match. Never happened. So, it is what it is. Flip my book over to the third match, and the Viking Raiders love this team. They beat the OC in a 12-minute match. I said good match. I thought it was very back and forth. I'm kind of hoping that's the end of this rivalry. I think next week the Viking Raiders should be pushed up maybe to the Raw Tag Team titles. But who knows? With Vince McMahon's booking, and I think Paul Heyman's booking the show. So I like Paul Heyman's booking, other than that one heavy machinery match. Yeah, Viking Raiders get the win over the OC. I like the match. Solid shit. Fourth matchup of the show, Ricochet and Cesaro are bickering backstage, and then all of a sudden they get into the ring and they have a match. And it was a 2-minute match. I thought it was a waste of time. But I liked the finish. West Coast Pop by Ricochet, and I think he was kind of channeling Rey Mysterio, because the story of the show was about Rey Mysterio, Dominic, and Brock Lesnar, and everyone was kind of all sad about it, and he paid tribute to Rey Mysterio with the West Coast Pop finish. I thought that was pretty cool. So then we get into the Firefly Funhouse. To me, it didn't make sense. He was going on about Seth Rollins and challenging him for the Universal title at the Hell in a Cell, which I'm excited for the match, but I just thought this was just more or less to waste time and dragged out a bit. The Firefly Funhouses, I like them, but I don't think they need to do them every week now, because we've seen it every week. But hopefully, in the next little while, we don't have to see it every week. Every couple of weeks is fine, but I guess that's his gimmick, so it didn't make sense that they dragged it out. I guess they're just trying to fill time. But then we get the fifth match in the United States Championship between AJ Styles and Cedric Alexander. I wrote down 10-minute match, good match. I liked it. I was into it back and forth. Great clash of styles, both from Ring of Honor. I thought Cedric did a fantastic job in making it look like he was going to win. I knew Styles would retain. He did retain, and hell of a match. These guys, the Street Profits, come on, and I hate them. I'm probably the only one who doesn't like them, but I find them kind of annoying. And they're like, well, we're finally gonna wrestle for the tag team titles on Wednesday, so I'll be watching that. Hopefully the Undisputed Era keeps the belts. Just my opinion. I don't like the Street Profits. They're a Crime Time ripoff. But I think they're being pushed to the moon. So unfortunately for me, the Street Profits are going to be pushed to the moon. Hopefully, though, like I said, they don't win the tag team titles on Wednesday. They get put on Raw or SmackDown, whatever happens with the draft. And I hope they end up jobbing. And I hope they just get cut off the scene, but I don't think that'll happen. I think usually when I want that stuff to happen, it doesn't. So, then we get our 6th match. Lacey Evans and Natalya again. Didn't like the match. I liked after the match. We got Lacey Evans beating Natalya, and Evans doing the women's right kind of caught me off guard. I was looking down at something that I heard Vic Joseph say, "Oh, women's right," and then I was like, okay. That part about it was cool, but I think this feud can end. It just seems like... And here's something else that I never really picked up on. Anyway, there's a limo pulls up after the match, and who's inside. Then it goes to a commercial, and we never find out who's in the limo. But now I think of who was in the limo, and I'll talk more about that during the main event, which that match got scratched. The 7th match for the Universal title, Rusev and Seth Rollins for the championship. And so in the limousine, I'm thinking it was probably Bobby Lashley and Lana. So they come out and they kiss right in front of Rusev. The match gets thrown out. Everything goes to shit. Everything gets burnt down. Then we have the Fiend come out, put the mandible claw on Seth Rollins, and the show's done. And basically, I'm kind of scratching my head going, okay, we'll see what happens on Sunday at the Hell in the Cell. I'm going to be doing reviews about Impact Wrestling, MLW, and of course the SmackDown coming up on Friday with the WWE Draft. I'm looking forward to all that stuff. And yeah, I'm going to get better at doing these reviews. I got all this stuff written down. And I'm going to be doing wrestling shows for the Xbox One as well. And the more and more I get comfortable with it, the better I'll sound. Everything will be peachy, as they say. And this is Killer Kyle signing out. Have a good one, people.